Hello and welcome to June. So I have made a few more things this month than I did last month. The first item that I'm going to talk about though is one that I started in May and then I finished on the 2nd of June. It's a pair of socks for my dad. I don't know if it's going to be his birthday present or his Christmas present, but it's going to be one of the two. It's this pair of socks. I've used two different yarns because I like the contrast of the toe, the heel and the cuff when I make a pair of socks. I like how it looks. It's annoying to make, but I think the payoff is worth it when you have this sort of the finished item. So those will either be birthday or Christmas present for Dad. I'm still working on the rug that I started in May, and I haven't done much more work on it than the last time I will have shown it. I can't remember if I showed it in the video or if I just posted it on my Instagram. Either way, it's going to be a long time before I finish this, I think. And then another item that I made in May and finished in June is the spiral knit cardigan. So this is one that I made with yarn that I took from a different jumper that I never wore, so that I could use the yarn so I would actually wear it. It looks quite nice. It's worked out quite well. It looks how I want it to look, if that makes sense. It just doesn't fit the way I'd hoped it would. I think I put the armholes in slightly the wrong place, so I've ended up with a bit more material up here than I usually feel comfortable with. I don't know if I need to wear it a couple more times just to kind of get used to it, or maybe chuck it in the wash. Annoyingly, I'm not 100% happy with it. I was at first, but after a bit more time of like trying it on and seeing how I feel about it, it's just not gelling with me. So I do need to do something with it. I don't know what that will be yet. I'm happy not making a decision on it just yet, because I've got plenty of other things that I'm working on at the moment and ideas for things in the not too distant future. I'm happy for it to be just sort of hanging around waiting for me to make a decision on it. It doesn't take up enough room in my brain or in my house for me to worry too much about it. I will need to do something with it eventually, but for the moment it's not too much of an issue. So now we move on to things that I started in June. This is a pair of socks for my dad. Another pair of socks with the contrasting heel and toe and cuff. So the body of this sock is the same yarn that I used for the contrasting bits on the other pair of socks, and then a different yarn for the contrasting bits. Completely lost the word then. Again, I'm really happy with these. The next few things I am not entirely sure where they are right now. I've put them somewhere, most likely in my bedroom on my dressing table, and I couldn't put my hands on them this morning. But I made a bandana out of a rainbow crochet thread. My original idea for this was for it to have elastic at the bottom, so instead of doing like I normally would with a normal bandana and crocheting like a string to tie it back. When I wear bandanas like that, I always end up catching a bit of hair in it. It doesn't feel snug to my head all day and I have to retie it. And just to make things a bit easier, I thought if I have a bit of elastic at the back where they would normally tie, then it will stay snug to my head all day and I won't have to retie it, so it's not going to catch bits of hair in it. But I think because it's crocheted, it loosens up a little bit. It's not got as much tension, so it's expanding past the point where the elastic would be doing anything to compensate for it. So I cut the elastic off and just added normal strings. The next thing was sort of my next attempt at doing something with the same thread and elastic, and I did like a hairband and then put a sort of a figure of 8 of elastic at the back, but again it got quite slack and wasn't holding it too well, and it kind of curled up a little bit because I think I made it a bit too wide. When I'm wearing it you can't really tell because the bit where it folds up is sort of back here where my hair hides it when I'm wearing it. It doesn't quite have the desired effect. That's again something that it's not the end of the world, it doesn't matter too much, but if I can improve on it, I do want to. My preference is to have my hair off my face but have it down, so if I can do that with something that looks nice, that's what I want to do. So I have a lot of bandanas and things like that, like handkerchiefs that I fold up and use in various different ways in my hair, but it's also nice to have crocheted things as well. So then I made a granny hex cardigan. It's downstairs at the moment, so I'll put a picture up of it here. I was a bit worried that I wasn't going to finish this before next weekend because there's a specific event that I want to wear it for. Weather dependent. If it's a bit warm I probably won't wear it, but I managed to finish it a lot more quickly than I thought I would. I made it using my usual granny hex cardi pattern and a really nice yarn. I've used this yarn before and I think I made a couple of Christmas or birthday presents with it last year. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's Highland Heathers in Thistle, I want to say. Yes, Thistle. And I have got some left over. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I'll think of something. Maybe something that I can wear with it next weekend, although I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to make something and finish it before next weekend, but we'll see. Then I made this little pouch which I made for my friend's birthday present, or part of her birthday present, because I know she likes things that are handmade, but she hasn't mentioned to me recently anything that she'd wanted that I might be able to make. So I figured that a little bag would be handy in general. And I mean, its intended purpose is for like an earbud holder, and I know she does use them when she's working, so I thought it would probably be handy. And if she doesn't need it for that, it can be a myriad of different uses. Then I made another hairband. I was trying to improve on the previous hairband that I made, and because the previous one, as I said, sort of folded up a little bit. So I thought with this one I'll make it in more of a triangle at the two ends so that there's not that folding, rather the first one was a bit rectangular. And it did work quite well and it sits nicely. The only trouble is that the colour change doesn't happen very much in it. So when I wear it normally it just looks like I'm wearing an orange headband. Which isn't bad, but I wanted something that was rainbowy. Not the end of the world though. The premise works and I know that I can replicate it, so I can have a go with a different yarn or a different part of that same skein of yarn and hope that it has a bit more colour change throughout it. This next thing I haven't finished yet, but I have started it, is another granny hex cardi using my same pattern. This is for a work friend, so the size, I've taken into account any differences in the size. The length of the arms, she wants them a bit longer than I usually make them, and she wants it a bit longer in the body as well. So I've done half of it so far. I don't know if you can see, the sleeve has worked out quite nicely. It's got a nice balloon sleeve situation going on. And I can't wait for her to get it because it's going to be super cosy. The only thing is she might not be able to use it till the autumn because it might be a bit warm. But I'm hoping she's as excited to get it as I am to give it to her. The next and also the last thing we'll be looking at this month is a massive scarf for another friend of mine. When I first found the pattern for this online, it looked like it was straight across and like ridges up and down, but as I've been making it, as you can see, it's not up and down unless it's pointy, or if you put it this way, it's slightly different than I had imagined, but I'm hoping that the person this is for will be happy with that. If they don't want it to be sort of diagonal and want it to be straight across, I can fold it up and sew it down so the ends are straight, and then they've got a bit of a pocket where they can hide things or put their hands in if it gets a bit chilly. So I was thinking I might undo this and start again, but as you can see I've done quite a lot of it already, and yeah, I've already got through one skein of the yarn, and I don't want to have to unravel a whole ball of yarn to start with something new. So when I finish the length of it and got it as big as it needs to be, I will then check with the person who commissioned this from me and see if they want a flat edge or they're happy with a diagonal edge, and whether they want fringe or not. But it'll be a little while before I finish it because they want it very, very long. This has been my taking to work to craft in my breaks item, and I can get through a fair bit on my breaks, So we'll see how long it takes to get that done. I've got a few ideas in the pipeline coming up for things I can make soon. One is a sewing project, which I'm going to do when I have a week off in July, because we're not going away anywhere, we're just having a week off because we both need a bit of a break and a chill. And we like having days out in places, and there's plenty of stuff near where we live that we won't get bored. But we do want a couple of days where we're just doing nothing at home and chilling, and my doing nothing at home and chilling is making stuff. So I'll be making a couple of things then. I've not settled on exactly how I'm going to do it, so I'm not going to say anything until I've done it, and then I'll give a bit more information. But I am quite looking forward to making it. Thank you for joining me if you've made it this far. If you want to find me on other social medias, there is a link down below to my link tree which has all the different links and things. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.